It should be streaming in 1440p 60 now. So let's see. Oh yeah, that's much clearer. That's much clearer. Ah, nice. So if I full screen this, oh, that's readable. It's really readable. Okay, cool. Hey, okay, let's go plug. Let's go plug some. Let's go plug some Twitches. Let's see. This is exactly what I wanted. If you miss any parts of the stream today, you can always tune in to my VOD channel, which will, or if you're watching this on YouTube, my Twitch is linked in my description. So feel free to stop by and hang out. Go plug. Do one thing. Ha ha ha. Okay. Let me make sure I'm just on my. Okay. Oh, hydration time. Okay. So yeah, I have a live wire here, but let me go grab some water and then I'll throw on some water really quickly. A second. Okay, friends and family, we're back. Got my water here. Some good water. Okay. Let's see. Let me plug one more stream source, and then we'll be good here. Nice, nice. Okay. Okay. We are fully plugged. Let's work. So I have a little tick thing that I'm going to share, but I think I also have it mostly in here. As you see on the right hand side, we have a couple things we have to get through. We have some game UI stuff, some menu UI stuff. We have to work on our multi-world system. We have that sort of in place. So if I would go here, you can see we have a world system. We just kind of need to be able to switch between worlds, and sort of allowing selection, these things. So let's just skip a song. So it's all good. So it's all good. But the thing we really need to fix is I made a pull request for the framework that I'm using named Jock, and Jock has this issue where if you have a file and that file says, "Hey, can I have another file?" and that file is not in the same directory, it would error out. And so I submitted a pull request to Jock to say, "Hey, let's fix this." Now, the one thing I left out of it, that I need to fix, is in. If I go to tiled, if I go here, one of the things that I forgot to implement, or rather, one of the things I forgot to Let's go back. Let's go to Jock. So one of the things I forgot to implement was path resolution for path separators for FizzFS. And FizzFS is a system inside of Jock that says, "Hey, you can point me to a folder, and I will look inside of that folder for you whenever we reference something," which is a cool system. I'm a big fan of it. And so it's used everywhere throughout Jock. And so if you have it enabled, it's very good to have it on. So we need to go to our tiled thing. It's yelling at me. I don't know. Let's actually see what's going on with our. Can I look at the logs? See what's going on here. It's having some fun, I guess. Okay. Maybe we can restart it and see what's going on here. Okay. Well, at the very least, we are going to go here, and there is a tile set dir. Oh, there's not. Am I in the wrong? Let me check. Let me pull up Jock very quickly. Switch over to this. Switch over here. Here's my browser. Okay. So in the terms of, in the Jock thing, I need to be in. Okay, I'm in the wrong. First of all, I'm in the wrong. Let me zoom into this. I'm in the wrong branch, which is fine. But here's the issue that I came across was that if you had a thing in a different folder, it's going to not recognize it. And so I fixed that slightly, but then I was like, hey, with the dot dots and like any relative path resolution, it's not going to resolve that. And so Jack suggests that I use std.fs.path.resolve POSIX or POSIX. POSIX. And that's basically just going to, it gives you a path. You start with a path. We actually look at this. You start with a path. So you have an allocator and a bunch of paths. And so once you pass these paths together, it can kind of traverse back and forth. And I'm pretty sure the behavior is if it reaches, yeah, so if you try to go dot dot on slash, it's just going to stay with slash. So that's a good fallback, I think. So I think we should just implement that really quickly. So now let's go ahead and go back to our stream back here. And let's go ahead and go to our Jock. And we do need to go ahead and check out path. Do I need to fetch anything from upstream? I don't think so. Okay, yes, I do. I do because I did. I did actually. But here's my tile set dir. So you can see I noted here that hey, it doesn't currently resolve paths containing dot dot. So we will just go ahead and what we can do is we have this tile set thing. We're just going to basically come down here to where it's used. So we use it a little bit below. Right here. And so what we'll do is we'll actually say, so instead of using memz, join memz here, what we'll say is we will go ahead and, well, how do we want to do this? Because if I use, I think st.fs.path.resolve POSIX or POSIX, I think that sorry, should automatically create this path separator for us, but I'm not too sure if it does. Let's double check this. So CDs, let's go, what we can do actually is if we go back to our browser, yes, it does create this forward separator for us. And so we should, my only issue with using this, I think, is that, well, can we do it? Okay, there's dot resolve. And so depending on the operating system we're working with, will resolve correctly. So what we'll say, we're actually going to remove the separator thing. We'll say if, what is it? It's use fs. If use fizzfs, then we're going to go ahead and say this one, otherwise we'll use best path.resolve, just basic resolve. So we'll basically default to POSIX on here. So fs.path resolve like that, and then we can just remove the separator thing now. It's not really useful. And so then once we get done, we can say, hey, free this, wherever it comes from, wherever our directory name has been resolved from, do that. So this should fix our issue. We'll say if we are on visfs, we'll default to as directed by visfs. Otherwise, we'll resolve based on the system. And it should fix our issue. The best way to test this, realistically, is actually just to go ahead and grab this snippet. We're going to queue out of here. We're going to go back. I do have a thing that allows me to, I think, let's see. Do I have it in here? No, I just have FB, which resolves from wherever I started my thing from. But I have a command on another in need of installation. I think maybe my Arch one, that says, hey, we can also resolve from wherever we are, etc. So that'd probably be useful to put back in the future. But in this case, we're just going to go into our world. We're going to go to our loadtmx. So basically what we're doing, this is a fun little thing, is we're just going to patch it in our installation of our game. And and then what we'll do is see if it works on this, and then we'll upstream it back. So let's see if this works. So Zig build run this. And last I left off, this did work properly. Build really quickly. Oh. It did segfault. So when we tried to free it, that's the issue. So we'll have to see what happened there. Because we do pass the temporary allocator to it. So let's go back to tile setter. This feels like it should work. Oh, that would make sense. We're double freeing accidentally. Whoopsie. Okay, now it should work. So that's that. There we go. And this is expected. Our world's up here. But I think resolved correctly. All of the tiles resolved correctly, which is what we want. We are going to test out something really quickly. And that's by, so first of all, we're going to go back to our just regular thing now. And we'll go ahead and say, because we have it where our data is in a separate directory than our TMX stuff. So if we were to say, go here, if I were to go ahead and say cd assets, and we're going to move our data. No, wait, hold on. Let's do our levels. There you go. Now we're going to move our data. We'll move it to /data. Is there oh, there's a data file. When did that get created? I do not know. That's fine. So we're just gonna say, so we're just gonna delete this. I don't think it's supposed to be there, but we'll move all of this stuff. And that should, what's it refresh for some reason? Oh, I see what happened. We're gonna move to dot slash data. Okay, that's that stuff. Oh, I need to move recursively, don't I? Data slash dot slash data. See, this is what the problem with using PowerShell is like. It's like because I'm using WSL or I'm not using WSL. I'm just using PowerShell 7. We get this kind of issue. So we're gonna delete this. Uh oh. Uh oh. Wait, where did our files go? A rut row. Recycle bin, please. Help me. It is not in the recycle bin. Oh wait, yes it is. Wait. No, it's not in the recycle bin. That's fine. Okay. That is an issue. Because I think I actually copied everything though, so fascinating. I thought it'd be here. Okay. Okay. Let's this one's just not in there, is it? That's so funny. Okay. So my assumption here is that we still have everything in our interiors, right? Yeah, we do. We copied the files over. So we can just use this stuff now. Yeah. So we're going to copy. Thank God I did that. Copy dot. We're gonna make a directory. We'll say data. And we're gonna copy not levels, interiors. 32 to dot slash data slash interiors dot png. And so we'll do something with the room builder here. And I think it's just called room builder. And then our levels, yes, it was just called room builders. And now if we just resort to saying dot slash and then our other one, resolve it this way too. And then we should be able to run this. And it does not work. Bad file name. Ah, that's right. That's right. Because I forgot about that. Let's go back to our source, our world. Let's find new load TMX. And it's going to be tilesetdir. I can spell that right. And I think let's look at this. Standard.debug.prim tilesetdir. And now say dir name. So this kind of gives an indication of where we are. And we'll say dir name. And then we'll zig build run this. And let's see what happens. Okay, so tilesetdir is nothing, and we're in the levels. Wait, it's failing at image content. Okay, we're in the wrong one. Duh. See, I thought it would be failing at this one for some reason. Over this one. So let me see what this says. Let's see what our full directory name is. So we'll say S. And we'll say folder name. Let's see if that resolved that correctly. It should have. That resolved that to levels, which is not where that should be going from. We need to, let me see what, okay, let's do something. Let's see what the directory is. Say dir folder, and then now we'll say tileset dir. And so now what we can do is we can do dir name, folder name, and then tileset dir. So this should, in theory, this is a good solution. It's a good solution to resolve it this way. I think the way we're approaching it though might be wrong. Okay, so tileset dir. Shouldn't that not be? That's that. That's going dot / data. Okay. Let's drink some water really quickly. Clear our throat. So we have this tileset dir should be, the source should be correct. So I don't know why it's not. Oh, wait. We're not resolving the a.value. So we need to resolve the a.value as well, because a.value is where our actual, if I would do this as a image source, or image source, yeah, image source, and we can just go ahead and slash in this. And then this will be our a.value. And so I think the issue in this case is that we need to basically unwrap the entire thing and then slash it at the a.value. Yeah, because that's okay. You can see right here. Tileset dir is the same one that we're in. And then image source is // data / room builder. So we need to append a.value, which I'm curious what this gives us. It's not going to work on the first try because we need to slash it. So we'll say full path. And then we need to slash it. Yeah. Because now we need to slash it. Here, we'll path this. And then the big issue I think that we're approaching, it's not a huge issue, but we need to, so where's the slicing thing? It's like, hold on. Standard.mem dot something. It's right here. Let's see the song. Okay. Index.skit, here it is. This is what I'm looking for. So now I need to go to, I need to find our full path right there. So basically what we're doing is we're allocating the path. And then we're going to say const folder name. That's going to be here. We'll say full path. And then full path. And that should be fine. Otherwise, I don't want to block here. I just want like a, there we go. So if we have a last slash, we're gonna slash it there, which will give us our actual path. Otherwise, we're gonna default to the dir name, maybe. That doesn't seem right though. It should be there. It should have a path. So I can spell. And we're actually gonna print this out too. So say folder name. Just so we can have all this data. I want to see what everything kind of looks like together. This will give us all of our data. And so now if we run this, it should be fine. Okay. So our directory was levels. All our full directory name was data. Our full path was data/roombuilder.png, and our image source was dot/data/roombuilder. So it can't traverse the one above it, which is makes sense. So physfs still can't resolve the data properly if it's above it. Now I'd imagine if it was in, say, if you had the data in one folder and then like the images in another folder, you could traverse up. So like, let's say if you had a structure, let's say, so I have my thing in levels, and then in my levels we have, we're just gonna draw this out. So instead of levels, we have a folder called data. But imagine we had another folder that we called images. So let's say in our data folder, we had let's say we had a file called say interiors.tsx. That's one of our tile sets. And then our images, we had like, let's say our images, we had just like interiors.png. What we could do in this case is that if interiors.tsx said, hey, our thing is inside of dot/images/interiors.png. This would work. But because we're using physfs mounts it at a certain location. In our case, it mounts it on assets, which you would expect to be able to traverse that. But I have physfs disabled, so it's actually just not working. Is it? No, I have physfs enabled. No, if I disabled it, there we go. Yeah, so it's enabled by default is the thing. So if I were to disable this might work out of the box. Let's see. It does not. Which a file not found. That's fine. Oh, this is the actual with our actual file. So this would be 503. So 140. 100. Okay. So this is when we actually try to open up where our thing is, and because we don't reference the full file, it's not going to work correctly, which is fine. So if I were to go to my world here, now that I have that disabled, or actually, I need to go inside my world scene, or is it my state that initialized my world? I forget. World.init. Okay. Oh gosh. Search grep. Gosh. Search files, I guess. So we're looking for. I don't know why my telescope isn't working. I remember someone saying it had something to do with like Git integration or something, but I don't quite know off the top of my head. Yeah, if I put anything in here, it's not gonna resolve it anyway. This is a file finder too. So if I search, I tried to search grep, but maybe we can search open files. Let's say, nope. Okay, let's just look through here, I suppose. Nope. Okay, so it is in my world scene that we initialize our world. No, it's not. It's not in our world, our world scene, which means it's in our main. There it is. Okay, so if I were to change this to say assets slash, this might work out of the box. Just like if I'm properly resolving that path. No, it still doesn't. Oh, now it's because okay, now it's because of the character. Yeah. So now I need to do in here is I need to go assets plus character. I never thought I'd have to be dealing with file issues or file system issues at this point, but we deal with what we deal with. And does that run? Or it looks like it's trying to run. Oh, okay. It's okay. Yes, it does run. So yeah, it can resolve it there. Because you can see we have assets/levels, assets/levels, full path, assets/data/room builder, tile set dir, and then things dot slash data, and that properly resolves to asset slash data backslash room builder, etc. But for some reason, some silly reason, we're gonna do that. We probably should check for FizzFS, but we want to use FizzFS, so I'll just go ahead and disable this again. What was I going to? I was going to the low tmx, right? And that's initialized inside of main, and so that's assets slash. Okay, yes, we get that fixed. Okay, so I don't know what the best path is here per se. Um, I was curious how that works internally. So it's a tile set dir. So we have this should theoretically this should work, but because the way FizzFX happens to work, it's not going to properly resolve still. Unfortunately. Due to how FizzFS works, it can't traverse a directory above the mounting point. So this will not. Right? Because you mount assets, that's inside assets. It should just. Huh. I'm kind of curious. Because this should be able to, like, this should work, right? Like, theoretically. Okay. We're gonna take a small break. This is a very fascinating issue, though, right? So we have this issue where we're trying to traverse this back, to get back to, like, if we have it. But the thing is, it's mounted in assets, so it should be to mount backwards. Okay, we're gonna get a small break and try to figure this out. But so give me 1 second, and we'll be back. Okay, we are back. Okay, so where did we leave off? We were working on trying to figure out what we could do, because if we start with our main thing being assets, and then resolve this out to levels, and then this resolves itself, then this resolves itself out to data, and this resolves itself out to, or I guess this, like that. That's this resolves itself out to images. And then we have a couple things in here. So for this, it'd be like this, and for this, it'd be like this. And so this would be like interiors.tsx, and this would be interiors.png. So it should, in theory. So the other thing here is that if we have data, say, on the same level as levels, so this would be like, oh yeah, I need to do, say, this would be like level.tmx. I'm sorry. So we have level.tmx here, and then you have data, and data has interior. So like this is where all of our stuff is inside data. It should be able to say, hey, go up one level. But the issue that I think we're facing is actually not an issue of the system as it is. Well, I don't know. We need the full. I think what we need is the full path of we need the full path. So let's see. Okay, let me see this song. Let's do our day list. We have our day list. Oh, we have some hip hop stuff. Cool. Nice. There are levels of data or images. Oh, that's fine. Actually, you know what I'm feeling? There's for music. I'm feeling New Jeans. Yeah, that's good. This is good. Okay, so we want to. Okay. Curious. Do we need to maybe resolve? Hold on. So load TMX. So it gets. So it creates tile map instance, and we open the path. Which in case would be level slash. It can't resolve that though. Wait, that sucks. I guess that's what it does here, but like it doesn't at the same time. Let me see if I can. OG Durnan. Durnan. So I would think this would be able to resolve to. My assumption is that it'd be able to resolve to like back to the or asset slash levels, but I think it's not going to be that. Oh, because it slices it. Wait, no. Yes. No, it's no, that's fine. No, it's not slicing. Just I have to stop talking. Okay. The OG thing is levels. It. Okay, so it doesn't understand assets exists, which makes sense. But dot slash still resolve the assets. Okay, that's a funny thing. It should be able to correctly. It should be able to correctly resolve to assets, but it's not because we don't. It seems as if. Okay, let me look at this. Let me look at this. See what we have here. Levels, then data. Yeah, so that should be actually that should be fine. Yeah, that should be fine actually. So it's not resolving that correctly. Assets, data. Yeah, that should just be there. Why? Why are you saying it's a bad file name? Am I passing the wrong thing to it? Oh, I am. I am passing the wrong thing to it. So in this case, that would be I wonder if we can do something like what if we did const dir name, a folder name, const file name, and then we'd say like make it like an anonymous tuple here, and then that would be full path index dot dot, and then that. Otherwise, this would be dir name without value, and this would obviously be does this work? This may work actually. My issue maybe is because I was still passing an a value, which wasn't resolved. Aha! Look at us. Ah. So smart. So smart. But I don't know if that's what we should fall back on though. Like, I is this my assumption is this is unreachable. Like it feels stand up. Let's see if I can find any other cases of stand up in that last index scalar. Okay. Yeah, this just defaults to because dir name in this case is levels and the source is still this. So it's not correctly resolved. So maybe we can just say it's like error dot path resolution failed. Like that. So we'll say splits our path into its directory and file for file name. So, oh, do I need to unsupported image data? Okay. So let's say path resolution. Path failed path resolution. Keep in line with this. Because it should have a file name. Oh. Wait. You need to return. If not, if we can't, we will return an error. And that should work. So basically saying, hey, resolve this path. We're gonna give you our dir name, our tile set directory, and our value. And we're gonna say, hey, take this whole path, resolve it, split it up so now we have our relative path and our full path besides our file name and our file name. Yeah, that's all good. And that works. Now if I were to turn off, here's one thing I want to do. If we were to move interior.tsx, so move assets slash levels slash interior.tsx to dot slash assets slash data slash interior.tsx, and then did the same thing with backgrounds. Say dot slash assets slash data. We had to obviously fix where we have to fix where our TSX is pointing to, because it just at this point just be in the same folder as this. Assets, data, background, that. And then we'd have to do assets and then come into levels. And then our source would be dot dot slash data slash. This would be dot dot slash data. Now, I don't expect this to work whatsoever, because I don't think we implemented the same. No, it doesn't, because we didn't implement the same thing for. We have to implement the same thing for our resolution of our tile sets. So we have to go back to our TMX. Say tile set directory. Um. So path. So say tile set dir equals. So now we're gonna say dir name and then a dot value. Yeah. Yeah. I say sequential path. Now the only thing is, if we allocate this at the start, we have to make sure that we finish allocate, or we have to deallocate it after everything is done. Because right now we're just slicing it, and that's fine, but it's not going to resolve it correctly. So we'll say we'll tile set paths. Yeah. That. So in this case, we need to only free so I guess we can check the length on tiles directory, see if it's longer than 0. If it is, then we'll say defer if tile set dir dot len is greater than 0. But then what if somehow let's say temp allocator dot free topic path. And then this is great. This is fascinating from a couple other perspectives, because for one, we can get we're obviously splitting this up, but we need to make sure this stays allocated. So we can say bar full tile set path. I don't like that though, because we need to allocate. I guess what we could do is copy that once it's done. So this would be like there. I can do that. I can, but I don't want to do that though. I want to do say what have his name does before folder name. Sure. I mean, actually, probably could turn this into a function of some sort, realistically. And then what we'll do here instead is we'll just do say tile set dir equals try temp allocator.do, and then we'll UA and then if we make the allocation, what if we actually we may not need to do this. We may just need to like still just resolve this like that, and then just create that one's done. Full path. So we'll just resolve it here. Grab the tiles that directory name if it has one. Try to resolve everything as possible as we necessarily need to. We can move this into a small function though, just so it's like, so it'd be like, let's see, where is, so we'll say in like function, we'll say, if it's inline, then we don't have to worry about the allocations, but so do resolve path. So say allocator standard.mem allocator. So we want to get our allocator here, right? So that's fine. We get our allocator, and then we get our all of our paths, and we collect them up. We get our every path that we want, collect them up, and then free if we have an error. Otherwise, we'll just return a tuple of, let's say struct constuate, and so this will basically be a struct of the file name, and then and so where's our folder name, or full path, I guess? Yeah. So we want this entire thing. And we need to know, we also need to know if it's using use physfs. If we're using the physical file system thing, then that's a big thing. So we'll say allocator here. We'll say paths else allocator paths. And if we have an error that we run into, we'll free it here. And then so we'll say takes a path, can resolves it, and then returns the directory as the first, and returns a tuple of directory file name. An error occurs, it is up to the caller to free this memory if an error to free the free Okay, that brings up a fascinating thing. We could because this gives us, oh, that sucks actually, because we have to basically combine those lines. So we basically okay. I don't like. Okay, that's my right. Oh, then that's actually. Do we need this thing actually? I don't think so. Failed path resolution. So we will. We'll say resolve our directory and file and source into a path if we're using physfs default to POSIX 4 so as to use and then that gives us this, and then we can just free this after we're done. And then what we'll say, right, so that should be fine now. Let's see. So we're doing this twice, which is a little bit inefficient, but because we're only loading once, it's not an issue. Now that works. Cool. So it's awesome. So as you can see, everything resolved correctly. I would like to turn this in, like, it doesn't make sense for just 2 usages to just go ahead and make a whole function for this. That being said, there's some amount of redundancy in here that we could probably reduce. First of all, what I'd say we could do is, instead of saving the tileset directory, is we can resolve it. But then here's the case: is if somehow there's more relative paths based on, like, it's a complex file structure, we're gonna want to make sure that we resolve it again. So, and there's no reason that we shouldn't just do that. So we'll say slice our path into a directory and a file name. So that's worked. And then now it's a tileset directory. Like above, we will resolve to if we're using FizzFS. Otherwise, we'll default back to the system. Similarly to our tileset directory resolution, we split this into its directory name and file name. So that's all we should have to do, and everything gets freed accordingly. We are doing we're doing resolution twice, which kind of may be a pain, but it's necessary. I think it's good that for every source, if somehow the sources are weirdly laid out in the file system, if there's some like unconventional structure to how this works, like one file is in one directory, one file is in another directory, we have to make sure that for each image we're going to actually fully resolve that path, and then for each tile set, obviously we need to resolve that path. So it's not enough, I don't think, to I think it's just easier for us to pass the tileset directory as a slice of dir name than to try and work around that issue. So this should be all we need to do. And so what we'll do now is we're actually just going to split this. Then we'll go back to Jock. We'll go to source. We'll go to utils, tiled. And so now we'll say source. Ta-da. The source. Cool. And then is it Control R? No, Control no. I forget the hold on. I'm forgetting it's Control W, I think. Yes, Control WW. So now we can go up here to tileset dir equals. Cool. So we'll do this. That's W. So we'll do this, and then we'll just basically take all this stuff, paste this in, and that should be all we need to do there. And then if we go to the next source, image content, yep. Now we'll say image content, just to make sure that it is kind of funny what we're doing here in terms of like committing. We're testing via our project, hot fixing it in our pulled version of Jock, and then we're saying, hey, let's copy this back over. I just think it's funny. I think we just copied it all the way down here, right? We sure did. So this should be all we need. So cd dot dot cd jock get add dots commit dash m fix ensure we resolve paths for both our tile sets and images as necessary. Okay, so we can get diff this. It should be fine. Git push. Cool. So now if we go ahead and go back to our browser. Nice. Let's do this. And as you can see, we have our thing here. Now Jack will be like, oh, hey, cool. It's fixed. So we're basically adding a tile set directory, resolving the path here, resolving the path here, and then we're freeing up as necessary. So not an issue. I think this works really well. I think it's a nice solution, and I'm very glad Jack pointed out that we have this resolve function that we can just use to expand in these paths as necessary. So yay. That's what we need to do. So that's done. Which is awesome. Listen, buddy, get that ass band. Get that ass band. Get that ass band. Get out of here. Get out of here. Do it look like I'm doing this for free viewers? I'm doing this because I like doing this. This is fun. Hills to the yeah. This is so fun. Okay. So that's awesome. We have that checked off our list, which is like a huge thing. I've been like kind of wanting to get that off my chest. And that now means we can just properly resolve everything as we want to. We can put like now, because my original intention was to have all this stuff like be in a data folder and have our level in a separate folder. So we can just now do that, which is awesome. That's so cool. So W changes. Yeah. I still have a few things I want to do. So if I split this and then for resize minus 25. Let's just minus another 10, maybe another 15. And then we open up README. Let's resize it a little bit more. Let's say 15. Let's say a little bit. Let's say 5 more. There we go. We fixed the relative paths. Yay! So our bug fixes are now pushed through. So now we can just actually use Jock's main. And if we run into any more issues, we can just always commit back to Jock, which is cool. I like having that in my arsenal. Jock's been if you guys are interested in like Zig game development, Jock has been a godsend, honestly. I've used it for a lot of things, and he made everything so easy. Jack does some great work with it. Super thankful to have found that for what I wanted. I was originally considering Godot for this original project, but I was like, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm feeling Godot. And I found Jock, and Jock did exactly what I wanted to do. So, I'm actually gonna check something. C cd senior capstone. We're gonna Zig build run. I want to see where we are with our menu system, because I think we might work on our menu system next. Because oh yeah, right. This will be a fascinating thing to do. Our senior capstone, like our actual UI. I didn't expect to make a full UI system. I want to make it at least expandable and durable, but like I have a very limited time to do it. But yeah, this is I think we're in a good state though. I think we have some good amount of time, and I would love to find a UI framework, like something, some amount of UI framework that we can like. Okay. Cool. So we can actually just mark off fixed path resolution here. UI. We can do UI maybe. We could do a Zoom implementation or centering levels, but I think UI might be a little bit more necessary. Um, these are all things we really need to do, so we can actually start working on our gameplay. Uh, yeah. I'm curious. See, that'd be cool. I would love maybe like zipping up my files. That'd be cool to zip up my assets and then have it like decompile. I would also really love to do some kind of like I want some more amount of I want some more UGC. I would love UGC. So like supplementing it with like a DLL, something like that. I don't know. Maybe we'll figure it out. Just kind of curious because we do need to do some math. I think. Um. Excuse me. Okay. We need to do some math. So make sure let's switch back to my browser. Or away. Let's switch away from my browser. Um. How do I want to do this? Let's see. We have our script system in place. We have our world system in place. But the rendering is kind of like off. So let me actually add this to my to-do list. So we'll say zoom. So we'll say rendering. Let's say zoom, centering. There's like a couple of these things that we need to like really. But the math kind of escapes me, which is sort of the issue. And I'm trying not to like default back to any amount of AI or anything. Because I just don't think I don't know. It's not useful for me to use AI. I'd much rather do use my brain. I yeah, like AI can help me, like maybe like speed things up, but like I feel like I don't get a good grasp of things if I'm physically letting someone else think for me. Right. That's our. We do need to figure out how we're gonna do our UI system because that's a big part of our thing. So how I wonder if Jock has any examples of UI. The font, there's like font demos, these kind of things, but I want more of, I want less control, and I want just to kind of have a UI easily rendered, if that makes sense. Let me see Zig 2D UI. Let's see. Foobark. Awesome. Let me see if I can. We're gonna switch over this. This is a few years old, so I'm not sure. It should still work. Oh, I guess it doesn't work. But this kind of gives us an example of what these things look like. Camera, all this stuff makes sense. Is there like an image? Yeah, I want to see the UI. How? Okay, so declarative retained mode persists widget state and performs fast diffs to reuse existing widget instances. Cool. It hasn't been touched for 2 years, so I just want to see Cosmic. Um. So you have a root node and you type. Okay, so how does it do the font? Let's see text. Where's text? Here we go. Okay, because text, I Jock has text rendering. It just feels weird. Here, I could just do some like image rendering and then a background or something. I don't know. I just want something a little bit nice. Oh, this is just like an actual graphics library. I don't really want graphics library specifically. I want like a UI. Um, I could use C libraries for this. Oh, actually, well, let's do You know, it'd be good here if we just look up STL2 UI. Um, I just want to see what they kind of have. Okay, like they have like a full system, and like this is not something I really like. This is not the UI I want. Like I want like game UI, and I know STL's been used for a lot of things. Yeah, it's not micro UI. But the thing is, I don't want I don't want like pop up seconds. I want like an actual yeah. So like images of this. Working example. Oh, screenshots are here on the LibSTL thing. Man, I'm like, and I know this is like C++ or whatever. That seems it seems like such a pain. Like I can't imagine. Like I'm gonna have to like, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to like try to do STL um UI, but this may be something I look at for the next episode or the next stream. We've only been streaming for like an hour some change. Let me check. Hour and 14. So we'll probably take a break here, come back around, and but hey, we got one thing done, which is nice. We got the jock stuff fixed, which is nice. I didn't want to spend too much time on this. I wanted to kind of get it done and out of the way. But so thank you all for coming out. I might be back later, depending on how I feel. I'm just gonna look into different UI solutions, and we'll come back around to this later. So have a good one. Take care. I will see you.